Sup, heathens? I'm Happy Viking, and I'm here to make you awesome, one frothy pint of metal at a time. So drink up. About a week ago, my Twitter feed was alight with talk on the topic of feminism, which got me to thinking about the presence of women, or lack thereof, in rock and metal music, which I would like to discuss for a moment. Now, I like to think that we adherents of rock and roll are a fairly inclusive sort once you prove your devotion to the music. But admittedly, our demographics are pretty narrow. I mean, sure, we got Tarja, Doro, Gossau, and Girls' School, but the whole subculture is still a sausage fest of mythical proportions. I mean, as of now, I've reviewed 23 metal bands from many different genres, countries, and backgrounds, yet only 4 of those bands have ever had a woman in their lineups. So yeah, there's definitely a gender divide in rock and metal. But, as I mentioned before, I don't think it's a sexism thing. I like to think that the grand majority of us are a little better than that. No, I think it's mainly a consequence of the lifestyle, because once you get down to it, partying, drinking, shouting, vomiting, and passing out face first in a small mountain of cocaine and broken whiskey bottles are traditionally masculine activities. Rock and roll is a dirty, smelly, sweaty way of life, and men are typically way more willing to dive into it. However, all things considered, it's a pretty small hurdle, and any chick who's willing to jump it can hold their own and rock alongside any man. I should know. I'm friends with a couple. And the band I'm reviewing today is a young group of upstarts from Australia that definitively prove that you don't need cock and balls to rock and roll. Here is Stonefield. In the interest of gender equality, I will describe this band as I would any other. That is to say, bombastically! Stonefield is an ass-kicking quartet composed of 4 sisters, Amy, Hannah, Sarah, and Holly Findlay. But do not let their slight and delicate lady forms fool you. These girls are carved from ancient sacred rock. Formed in 2006, Stonefield shot up to local prominence in 2010 with their modern take on the classic rock of the 1970s, following in the footsteps of Hendrix, Zeppelin, and Zappa, which, needless to say, is rather fucking rad. These wonders from down under bring the thunder and electrify you until you're charred black to the bone from red hot rock. Check out this little ditty, for instance.
The world, that's where you came from, it's where you learn to walk, it's where you learn your evil ways, we're waiting for you to grow.
Can you dig it? Hell yeah, you can. That groovy bass, wicked riffage, and soulful singing simply don't stop until those twisted sisters got blisters on their fisters. Fingers. Fuck. Well, no matter, you know what I mean. You can hear what I mean. Stonefield is quite simply super, splendid, striking, stunning, sweet, and sick. And speaking of sick, let's talk about one of my favorite Latin phrases. Sic parvis magna. Greatness from small beginnings. Stonefield comes from Derrawheat, Gwym, a tiny town out in rural Victoria with a population of about 600, and the story of how they came to be would be considered hackneyed and cheesy if I made it up, but I swear to God I didn't. So let's start at the beginning. 4 sisters from the boonies are raised on their awesome parents' collection of Hendrix, Zeppelin, and Zappa vinyl. They each take a liking to one of the 4 traditional hard rock instruments, Amy to the drums, Hannah to the guitar, Sarah to the keys, and Holly to the bass. Since it's hard to get proper lessons in a town of roughly 600, they mess around with their instruments and slowly figure them out on their own. Until one day when, guess who should happen to move in right next door? A music teacher. So they got taught the ropes by a professional and, from there, went on to carve their name into the annals of rock. Their local popularity immediately skyrocketed thanks to them winning Aussie rock station Triple J's Unsigned Bands competition and the subsequent radio play of the winning track, Foreign Lover.
This This would open the door for higher profile gigs, including a spot at Glastonbury and being a supporting act for Foo Fighters and Tenacious D. Holy shit.
Hey, remember when John Connor said there's no fate but what we make? Yeah, that was a damn lie. Stonefield is living proof that sometimes fate just decides shit for you.
Their formation and early success are so unlikely that they had to have been cosmically ordained. Even the band can't believe how ridiculous their success is. It's not as if it's undeserved, though. If your band can write something this awesome, you've earned it.
To make their success just a pinch more ironic, until sometime in 2010, Stonefield used to be named iota, a word that means a very small, inconsiderable quantity.
As we can clearly see, they are anything but. They are not small and inconsiderable, they are grand and prosperous, like a mighty plain before a great rocky mountain. Hey wait, rock? Plain? Shit, we can make a name out of this. Let's see. Rock Plain, Pebble Pasture, Stonefield. Yes, I got it. Sedimentary Flatland. Haha, perfect. But then they settled on Stonefield because it was easier to fit on a t-shirt.
But anyways, as I said before, Stonefield have legitimately earned their success by simple virtue of being really damn good at what they do. Case in point, hell yes! Those chicks can write some seriously good hooks, man, and as soon as those hooks dig their way into your skull, they're gonna take you for a ride, and they are not gonna let go until you're dead. Wow, that analogy got really brutal, didn't it? Jesus.
Most of what makes their hooks so damn catchy is the vocal melodies, which is greatly aided by the fact that Amy has some serious pipes. Ha! Awesome. Also, as you've probably noticed already, Amy handles drumming and singing duties simultaneously, because she's cool like that.
To tell you guys the truth, I don't even care that they're lady type folks. I'm far more impressed and fascinated simply by how young they are to be doing all of this.
And they are disarmingly young to be at this level of the rock and roll business. I mean, like, they opened for Foo Fighters, yet their bassist is still in high school. Good lord, look, the bass is larger than she is. Nah, but Holly still has admirable chops. Hell, they all do. And it's very damn impressive that, even as young as they are, they can still put out killer tracks like this.
It warms the cockles of my crusty Viking heart to see young people with good taste in music. They're so rare nowadays, like unicorns almost. Except, you know, not with one horn, with two. See?
But despite their self-evident skill in the art of emulating that funky old soul, I bet some of you are thinking, does the fact that they're girls give them any problems? Well, they have brought it up a couple times in interviews that occasionally people will underestimate them due to them being girls, but they typically win them over pretty quick when they actually start playing. Well, shit, I'm convinced.
It's good to know that them being women in a heavily male subculture isn't slowing them down. That's good. However, I could see their age doing it.
As I said earlier, the bassist is still in high school, and naturally that limits their rocking time a bit, seeing as how the band can't properly tour until summer break comes around. But another thing to consider is their narrow range of influences. They were raised on Hendrix, Zeppelin, and Zappa, and it definitely shows.
Now, let me assure you that in no conceivable universe is sounding like Hendrix, Zeppelin, and Zappa ever going to be considered a bad thing. However, Stonefield sticks to fairly conventional song structures, and they don't experiment or deviate from formula like their influences did.
They sound like a pastiche of old bands that only really feels comfortable producing catchy singles, a very good pastiche producing very good, very well written singles, but still, they lack the flexibility that gave their role models their unbridled power. I would like them to take a couple cues from yet another 70s inspired rock group that formed in 2006, Graveyard. Graveyard takes inspiration from roughly the same artist, but Graveyard is more creative with their application. They have more flow, they aren't limited to traditional songwriting frameworks, and it helps keep the music fresh and interesting. But, like I said, I chalk this up to age. Stonefield will grow out of their shell and start experimenting a little more eventually.
But even though they could benefit from diversifying their influences and their structures and such, Stonefield still proves perfectly capable of throwing down and leading a crowd in a rousing chorus of rock.
Despite their youth, Stonefield stands tall amongst their peers and straight up delivers the hits with an earnest smile and a clenched fist. They have skill, charm, and, if their backstory is anything to go by, a lot of luck-enhancing witchcraft on their side.
Stonefield is a gem. They got the stones to rock and they're slated to be the next big thing. So don't take them for granted because they're only getting bolder. To which I say, nice. Nice.
Stonefield does what they want to do, and if that involves banging heads, burning amplifiers, and bits of guitar stuck in the bleeding face of a belligerent drunk, then so be it. You can't stop them, and you can't break their spirit. Go to hell, Spice Girls. This is girl power.
Just because it is now, baby.
I'm Happy Viking, and you've just been served your recommended dosage of heavy metal. Rock on and drink responsibly. Sing it, sister.